Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the Nearby Nation, welcome to our first video on Cinema 4D. Now remember, I'm not a graphics animation artist by choice. This is just something I chose to learn myself. So if there's anything that I do wrong, it's because it's the way I do it. If you have a better way to do it, you can go ahead and tell me in the description or comments below. But please don't ridicule me, because I will stop these right away if you guys do, because there's no reason for that. I'm just starting to learn this. So here we go. Now, before you start with anything in Cinema 4D, Minecraft-wise, you have to go pick up the, first you got to pick up Cinema 4D if you don't have it. I believe, like I said, there's like a 42-day trial. You have to go, I'll put a link in the description, as well as you have to get the pack itself in order for you to get all the characters and all the blocks and stuff. And that is, I'll go ahead and link that in the description as well. But it's basically just a YouTube video. You go there, and there's a link in the description for that. I'm going to go ahead and link you to the YouTube video. That way, he actually gets credit for the pack that he built himself. But after you get the pack, you want to basically go to your local disk, to Program Files, to Maxon, Cinema 4D R12 or R13. I think R13 is the newest version. Then you want to go to Library, Browser, and you just want to go ahead and throw the lib4d file in here, which is my Minecraft pack, is what it should be called. So you just throw it in here and you're ready to go. So then you start up Cinema 4D as well. You can go up here to Window, to Material, or I'm sorry, Content Browser. So we click on Content Browser, and you'll see the Bloodwork C4G Minecraft Material Pack right here. Now it has blocks, it has house material, it has models, which the only model right now is my guy, which is just basically the Minecraft Steve. And I believe that's it. Oh, it's got beds, a whole bunch of other stuff, wood. You also have textured blocks. I thought there was dirt in here somewhere. Or maybe I used my own dirt texture, but not sure. It comes with a whole bunch of different things. You got chests, which I don't believe they look that messed up in the thing. Furnaces, double chests. That's actually a single chest. Single chest, double chest. They're a little backwards. Again, this is made by somebody, so, you know, I have no intention of doing this myself. Again, I'm not really good at modeling to begin with, so. But anyways, you got glass as well, so you can see through it, as you can see. And a bed. So, just for this basic tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and teach you how to animate into a bed. Or try to, anyways. So, let's go ahead and get a bed. You just double-click it. And then let's scroll out. You can use your scroll wheel to go back and forth. If you hold Control down, oh, I'm sorry. If you hold Alt down, Alt down and move your mouse around with the left button, you will rotate around your object, whichever object you have selected. If you hold the right mouse button down, you'll zoom in and out, kind of like using the scroll wheel itself. If you hold the scroll wheel down, you'll move your whole object itself, the camera basic view, all the way around. It's a little bit daunting at first to really understand. Now right here we have the X and Y axis, X, Y, and Z axis, so we can go up and down, we can go forward, or we can go left. Now your main thing would be right here. This would be 0, 0, 0. You can also move your character down here in the position space or item to 0, 0, 0. Okay, maybe not. Oh, right here. I don't really use this that much. 0, 0, 0, and it will be aligned to 0, 0, 0. Right up here, you got the movement, the size, so I can actually go right here and hold down and make a bigger bed or a smaller bed, depending on what I want. Or you can rotate. So I want to rotate this that way. Pretty good. I think that looks, oh, sorry about that. I think that looks okay. We also want to make it level with the ground, even though there is there's technically no ground at all. We're just floating in a plane. So that's basically a level right there. Level as you can get. And I believe when you render this out, render view, yep, you cannot see the bottom of the bed. So basically that purple spot goes away. I know it might be, you might be like, whoa, I don't like that purple spot. What's up with that? It will go away. It's basically just a, I don't know, transparency feature, but you get to see it for right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring some blocks in as well, because if we have a bed, we don't have a bed in the middle of nowhere, right? It's not just laying in the middle of nowhere. And if you have ideas for what to do exactly, because I'm just guessing on what you guys might want to see. So here's a bed. Now let's go ahead and bring window, content browser up again. And we're just going to go with wood flooring. So let's go ahead and exit out of that and zoom in. And you can see, again, it sets it off to a way over the top layer. So we can just come down here again and zero it out so at least we get close to where the bed is. I said zero it out. And there we go. At least we know that's where the bed is. So we can rotate this where we want it. I kind of like to lean it a little bit because I like having my camera a little bit on the lean side, if you know what I mean. But that's pretty much even with the bottom of the bed. Might want to rotate it just a hair. We have not set up a camera yet, remember that. So the angle that I'm looking at is my perspective, not a camera angle. Okay, so what I usually do is Control C, Control V. It will copy the layer. And then I just want to move it over. As you can see, I just copied and made another block. You can see how close that block is if you want. That looks good. Control C and V again. Just kind of want to make it where they blend in. C and V. Looks good. Control C and V. Now you might be like, this is tedious. This is boring. There are other ways to make a plane, but I just like using these blocks because they're actual the width and height of what Minecraft is. It makes it a little bit easier to deal with. Okay, that actually looks not too shabby. This one might need to go in just a tidbit. Okay, so now I want to get all of these together, so I believe I can just shift, control, maybe not. We'll just do this. Select them all, Control C and V, and we're just going to push them out. Oh. And there we go. We got a pretty good wood flooring going on there. We can select all these again. C and V, and we can just make sure that when the camera sees it, it's going to be, ooh, I selected an extra one. Oh, that's the extra one. It's going to be showing the wood and not like black background or anything like that. Those probably need to go in a little bit more. Just a little bit. Alright, that's good right there. Now, for a background or a backdrop, you could go ahead and make a house out of these blocks if you really wanted to. But as you can see in the Tech at 2.0 that I did, I basically learned how to import an image. That way it could have a basic background. And now that I think about it, you know what? We're going to do something. Select all these blocks again. And remember, the more objects in, the more laggy it could get. So, and the rendering could take a little bit longer on the rendering too. Yeah, that looks pretty good for a flooring. Just wanted to make it a little bit wider so I could actually pan the camera in, maybe a little bit. Okay, so for the background again. Okay, so we're just going to come up here and select a plane. And then I like to go ahead and rotate it so it actually looks like a plane in the background. You can actually do a 90-degree angle down here if you would like to make it actual even. So it's facing straight up, 90 degrees. Select this one right here, and we're just going to make it a little bit bigger. That's actually pretty good. We're going to push it back. Remember, the green goes back and forth. So we're pushing it back. Now we got to go get our texture, which I actually have on my desktop waiting for me. And I just found this online. It's just basically somebody's Minecraft background for their desktop. And I just threw it in there, as any texture would, and throw it on there. Of course, it's not the right way, right? It's not the right orientation. You could, I think there's a way to change the orientation in here, but I'm lazy. We can just do it this way. So we want to make that 90 again. And as you can see, that actually looks pretty good. It doesn't look too bad. So we're going to, what this right here does is it actually makes it into like pixel blocks, I believe. I know this isn't technical. Remember, you're talking to somebody who doesn't know very much about this, so we can actually stretch this out a little bit better. Oh, you gotta have this tile set, I believe. Maybe. Oh, there we go. There we go. And we want to move it up. So there you go. You got the basic background, and depending on where your camera is, it just shows exactly where this is going to be seen. If we wanted to, we could go ahead and move this in a little bit so it's butted right up against. I don't know why you'd want it that close, but it's almost in the bed. But remember, you're only showing the perspective of your view, the camera's view. So they really don't need to, your audience doesn't need to see the whole thing, and it doesn't need to be fully caged in. It just needs to be where the perspective of the viewer is. So in order to get the perspective of the viewer, we have to add a camera in. So we just go up here to this glowy thing right here and go to camera. I'm not sure what target camera is yet. Haven't learned that one yet, but still. Camera. Okay, so now if I come up here, you'll see a camera. Now to get all this out of your area so you don't have like 8,000, you can actually go right here, click all the wood, and right click and go to, I believe it is group objects. There we go. So they're all grouped in this null, and if I wanted to, I could rename it into floor. So there we go. That's floor. I can move and mess with floor all I want without actually selecting individual items. And I could delete floor on accident. There we go. Okay, so we got the plane in the background, and here is the camera. This button right here is your best and worst friend in this view. So you click it, we're in camera view. So if we move the camera around, we're actually moving. Oops, we're actually moving around where the camera goes. Just like in just free view, you have to hold Alt down to actually zoom and move the camera around as if you wanted to. So Alt, and then you can control. So say we want just I know that's pretty crappy background for a bed. I mean, I could have just made, you know what? In fact, let's go ahead and delete that. You guys know how to make that plain now. So what I could do is, I could get a little artistic here and just copy this floor. And we want to rotate it 90 degrees. So come right here and go 90. We're gonna go up with it and back with it and back with it. Remember, your characters are gonna clip into stuff unless you make them not clip into stuff, so you got to be careful about that. That looks actually pretty good. We can actually move this bed forward a little bit so it's not. And if we really wanted to, we could say, we could probably just delete that one out and delete that one out and go into our content browser and add some glass. And there we go, we got glass. Now again, it's all the way in the middle of nowhere out there, so now it's right up front with us. So I can move glass and then just move it over, up a little bit, and then back a little bit. Surprisingly, it doesn't look too bad. Surprisingly. Okay, so that's our glass. Little offset. That actually looks good that it's inset a little bit. Okay, so CV again, and we're just going to move it over to the other window. And it looks like it's a little off, so let's bring it in a little bit more. Yeah, that works. Now if I render this out for you, render view, you can see it's glass. Now if I really wanted to, I can bring that plane back and bring in the Minecraft plane again. Should we? I think we should. I think it'll look interesting. Okay, so remember, you can get your camera really offset, and it's not good sometimes. Oh, by the way, when I said the camera is the worst and best thing, right now I'm in camera view. If I was actually doing some frame rate or frames down here, actually for animation, my camera would be totally off. You got to remember that. Especially if you're using this button right here, which actually records the frames as they go. So if you move a character or move the camera, it'll record as you go. And if you have that clicked while you're moving this camera around, while you're scrolling through these frames right here, you're going to get totally messed up. So be careful with that. Be very careful with that. That's why I choose to use this button instead, which is actually putting keyframes in yourself instead of actually making it automatic. And it's a good and a bad thing. So it could be a little bit harder to do it this way because you have to do each one, but it could be easier too. Again, there's our plane. I'm going to go ahead and set it to 90 again. And we're going to widen it up a little bit. And then we're going to push it back just a hair. That's fine right there. Throw this material on it. Rotate it again. Plane. Make this one 90 as well. There we go. Now if I come back down here and say I render that out, you can actually see that it almost looks Minecrafty. I mean, you got the window view that you can actually see the bluish sky in the background, so it kind of looks like our place is on top of a hill or something. There's also torches you can bring in. I haven't used them yet, but I guess I could bring that in just for the heck of it. I think in the next episode, I'll go ahead and get to character animation and all that for you. So here's torches on. Again, I've never messed with these. So forgive me if I get this wrong. Of course, they're way off. Okay, so 0, 0, 0. Bring that in. And torch. There we go. So I can make this tilt it a little bit, shift it a little bit. There we go. So it's kind of on the wall. It's a little offset. That's how a Minecraft torch would set, right? So CV. We're going to move the other one to right here. CV. Move the other one to right here. Ah, that looks good. So if I get a good aspect like this, remember those create lighting sources too, so I believe. So if I go to render view. Okay. They create some crazy lighting sources. Render view. Some orangish lighting sources. Torches on. Light. Color. Intensity. Let's turn it down to like 1. 1. 1. Render view. Okay, let's go ahead and bring a actual spotlight in. So come up here to this right here and spotlight. And as you can see, there it is right there, our famous spotlight. And we're going to lift it up and rotate it. Oh look, it's a spotlight. Yay. Just like back in the day, you could have your own spotlight. You can widen the view. So there's our spotlight. Render view. So that doesn't look too bad. That almost looks Minecrafty, right? If you think about it. But remember, you got to have the camera placement right. So, and we are in camera view right now. So if I maybe go down a little bit, something like that. That looks good. Render view. And there, we pretty much have our Minecraft scene set up for us. That torch needs to be moved a little bit, but as you can see, we have a bed, and we have a room, and we're set. Again, all the links for the stuff that you'll need will be in the description if you want to follow along in this tutorial-based setup. Again, I'm not a professional at this, so have fun with it, if any of you guys get too irate. Again, I can stop the series at any time because I really don't want to deal with it. Thanks for having me, and I'm not trying to be mean or rude at any time, but please like this series if you really do want more of it. Thanks, guys, and see you later.